Hey! Hello there.
Howdy, y'all.
How are you doing?
Hello.
It's my birthday. It's only been for like 20 minutes. So we're doing a birthday one-shot. Originally, this was intended to be a Doxy birthday one-shot, but our birthdays are so close together, we kind of mushed them together.
Happy Ollie's birthday, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy Ollie's birthday!
Happy Ollie Day. Come on,
Yeah,
we
Happy
can
belated birthday to Doxy.
cut some stuff
Thank you.
out. Yeah, exactly. It's a celebration for the best people in the world, including some average, okay people as well.
Bye.
We're also here.
Yeah. Hello.
Including Will, who I set the camera up really nice, and he immediately sat back and is just dead. Thank you. Yeah.
I was comfortable.
Don't
okay?
be a Scott or a Neil. I
Hey,
set
well,
up
I'm not
Neil's
doing
camera
this.
and he's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, and then it's like, I'm gonna sneak attack. 5 damage.
You get forehead stream for
That's
Neil
better.
sometimes.
I'd actually prefer a forehead stream than a corner stream.
Is this fine?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Good.
It doesn't matter anyway. I just want to I just want to throw some shit around, which is why we do a one-shot. A rare occasion, for I dislike one-shots. But a rare occasion, for I was asked, and a one-shot I have cast. Are you ready to begin? Are you sitting comfortably?
No, you just told me not to. The fuck is this? You tell me not to, and then you slap me a face with it. That's all you did.
The conditioning is working. So, where we begin is in the kingdom of Goldport, in the town of Diland. The rain is heavy, making the air thick and moist, and the sky is filled with dark clouds. The sky is just clouds. Diland, for most people, the Kingdom of Goldport is very human-centric, and for people who are a little different, a little weird, maybe not even human at all, they don't really get along, but for the most part, for a long time, Dealand's been a little more relaxed. Not many people really think about the ancient empirical heritage of the Kingdom of Goldport, of the old human empire, but Dealand sits in its own ruins of a much more mighty civilization. Really now it is a tattered little town that sits in rotten old walls and rotten old buildings with a castle that was rotting away in the center of the town for quite a long time, for hundreds of years. No reason to need it. But with the war, castle was patched up. And so was the town to a degree. And by patched up, I mean delinquents were kicked out. This takes place quite a few months after the military kind of kicked their way in and started patching up the castle. Campaign starts looking through the rain for a tiny little barred window on a holding cell on one of the forts in Diland. This cell looks out towards the main castle if they've been rebuilding it. Quite nicely, it looks into the courtyard of that castle, although it's not actually connected to the castle. It's just got a nice little view of where, town criers will say the day's events and such little events. And all three of you, for one reason or another, have found yourself in this little holding cell. Not arrested, not in prison, not sent away for life yet, but in a little holding cell, maybe for quite a little bit of time, forgotten about, and sort of thrown aside, because the soldiers don't have time to worry about legal sentencing or anything. Just throw them away, get them out of here. So why don't you start describing yourselves one at a time, and what you're doing in this little stone holding cell with one window out, and one door further in, all cast iron, rusty, old. Why don't we start with Will? Who are you? What do you look like? And what are you doing?
Well, my name is Volvaren, and I am probably sitting, just very away from everybody else, probably not making good eye contact with anybody. Older man, with a bit of a hunch in his back. when you do catch a glimpse of his eyes, they're a deep emerald green. Beautiful, striking. Weird, given that the rest of him looks wrinkled and horrible for the most part. Unkept. And just a little bit scraggly. Clearly doesn't care for his appearance very much. And really doesn't care what others think of him. And he's making that relatively clear by the fact that he's just fiddling around with scrap fabric, seems like.
Cool. Tesh?
So here we have Jewel. Jewel would be fairly decent. Let me just double check the height. Yeah, decently sized, at least 6'2". He, if you weren't, in a jail cell, he would look like probably just a drunk passed out in the sleep on the street. Like, he's not well kept. Clothes aren't that clean. They're they're taken care of, but just to the point that they still work as clothes.
Traveling clothes, not cleaned clothes. Yeah.
And he's probably just sitting down in a corner, muttering to himself and looking around the room at, well, nothing in particular that you can tell.
All right. And Dogsy?
All right, so Nada is, you look at her and you think of the sea. And she's got long, curly, red and orange hair, gray skin, deep purple lips, and bright green eyes. She has it half pulled back in kind of a swath of fabric here. And she's a petite, adorable, pretty little thing.
That's very much not human.
That is very much not human. Correct.
Wonder why she's here.
Gray skin. Gray skin.
Exactly. Maybe glistens a little bit in the humid air.
Yeah.
You guys have been sitting here together for a few hours. I imagine the last person to be thrown in here was Jewel, to the extent that you can still see your crossbows sitting outside the cell. There's a guard there who isn't one of the soldiers. He's just actually a town guard. And so he's not happy either. He's straight up you can smell it. He's got ale in his mug. He's kind of fiddling with your very petite, intricate little hand crossbows with one hand while just drinking with the other. It's dripping down his beard, down his clothes.
Hey, be careful. Those things are expensive.
You be quiet in there. You be quiet.
Come on, we're on the same side. I was just...
I mean, you're in there, and I'm out here. Oh, he stands up. Keys jangle, armor jangled a little bit. Wearing a brigandine, so it's kind of like leather, but with metal studs and plates. And they're like, I think we're very much not on the same side because I'm not some dirty criminal. Huh?
I hunt ghosts and demons. I'm not a criminal. He goes back, sits down again.
And he at the same time, the guy also sits on his stool that kind of looks... You can tell when you were marched in here, there's another cell, but not just dump you all in the same cell. It's so much easier. And he's just sitting there kind of just watching you. But really not. It's clearly he's meant to be. Just fiddling with your stuff. And you can tell all your bags of supplies, literally they've just been shoved in your separate backpacks and they're just by his feet. It's not a very well set out operation here. To someone like Jewel and maybe Volvarin who have been in prisons, who've been around, clearly in the castle proper was where they used to deal with prisoners. This is just another building that has prison cells that they're dealing with them now because they can't do it there.
Can I have a look around to see if there's any nooks and crannies or things that weren't found that might help us?
Absolutely.
If this
Give
is
me a
hastily made
perception or investigation check. So you don't really notice anything more than just it definitely wasn't made to be some sort of prison. The old metal door here, it's got kind of bars, but some of the places between the bars have metal sheets between them as well. It's been bolstered a little bit more, but it's not like it's been put together so hastily that you could maybe kick it down or something. It's very old, quite good construction, but it's not been maintained properly, and the metal is weakened and things like that.
He will actually just say, no, we ain't getting out that way. No context to anyone else. Like you just said that.
Yeah, I think that I would take a look around too.
Give me perception or investigation.
Oh man. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to turn on dice real quick?
Please do, everyone. I didn't even think
Sure,
about that.
sure.
Good idea.
I got it. That's what
I think I
I
actually
love
might need
dice
to
too
enable
much.
it
I
as
do
well,
that
real quick.
every time.
Oh no!
You have auto, and you have the advantage auto rolls in
You
your.
have to switch it to
by
toggle.
default. You have to switch it off to toggle or to query.
Because I forget to do that all the time.
I
Otherwise, you
forgot to
just normally
set it
take-
up properly because I made this game quite hastily a long time ago.
Where do I fix it?
So in the cog, in the top right of your sheet,
Yeah.
by spells, click on that, and then directly below that, it'll say roll queries. And then it will say always
Okay.
roll advantage. You'll click on that, and you'll
Advantage
either
toggle. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one.
Advantage toggle is the only
Sorry, Ollie.
one. No, that's
You want me to
my.
roll
That's
again?
actually my bad. Yeah, please roll again.
Sure.
The other one didn't even. I kind of deleted it on chat, so I had to reload everything.
Hey!
Whoa, fucking K.
23. That's really good. So you start going around,
Baldy.
and let me just roll a couple of DFs real quick. Just a couple of DFs. Don't worry about the DFs. Just a couple of DFs. You start running your fingers over the stone, and in some places it starts to crumble. In fact, the window, that is maybe a foot by a foot and a half. It's a sort of thing like that. The bars of it have, because of the rain eroding in, there's no glass. It's just bars. They've actually started to become looser and looser to the extent that they could be pushed out, and it doesn't even take a lot of strength. You don't do it immediately because there's a guard right there. It's one of the things you push it, and sort of crumbs start to crumble off the stone, and you're like, okay. But when you're there at the window, you notice a large gathering of people. Now, in the town, the large war band that had been forming using Diland Castle as a camp of the Army of Goldport has actually been out of town for several weeks. There's still a skeleton crew of people, the support staff and stuff, and people who do planning and don't actually go off onto battle. But you see a fairly large group of people just waltzing into the castle. In fact, you see a very large man in a tattered cloak, very big hunched figure, and several other people who are following along beside him who are all wearing the same sort of dirty black and grey clothing. Some of them cloaks, some of them just sort of tattered tabards. And they straight up just go up to the guard guarding the gate and just shank him to death, and then just break open the gate.
I point and I'm like, that'll do it.
What? What do you mean? Look outside. Huh.
They're currently open, like it's one of those big gates, and they're currently like just wheeling it open so you can see properly into the full courtyard. And considering how the town's designed too, pretty much most of the town can see that this is going on. You can actually see people. There's a little road that goes around the castle that is where quite a lot of markets and things go on. They are just like completely stunned at the audacity. It's daytime, although it's gloomy as hell, because it's always raining in Goldport. But they are just, people are completely stunned. Some people like running for guards, but there's a lot of people there. You guys just watching?
Yeah, is there any way for us to take advantage of this situation immediately, or do we just need to wait and see what transpires?
You could try and break out now and hope that the guard behind you doesn't seem to have noticed, because it's not very loud because of the stone in the way and stuff in the distance, but you more saw this. You could try and distract the guard, be like, hey, look, there's something going on. You could try and push out now, using that as a distraction, or you could wait and just kind of watch and see what's going on.
I think we should wait and see how this plays out, gentlemen.
That works for me.
As thank you for the input there. As the town starts to sort of come together around the large figure, you can't even see his face, but you can see a rusted metal mask where just from the angle, a little bit of light glints of parts that aren't so rusted. Large tattered cloak. This guy must be 8 foot tall and nearly as wide. And he just starts calling out in a voice that booms like, "Your town and your castle are mine now. Each and every one of you that protests." And while this is happening, someone in the crowd, their dog, starts barking, starts running up towards him. You know how dogs sometimes just spook and get really aggressive to someone? This little yappy dog runs up to him, and that even some of the guys with him, who are all kind of these shifty, like thievy bastards, kind of try to grab the dog. And the dog goes right up before this shrouded, masked figure. And the mask isn't like a face, it's just like these downward streaks of metal and eye plates, kind of like a Witch King sort of thing. And just looks down at the dog. Long, like you can't even really see the fingers. It's just like a mass. Picks up the dog, looks at it, and says, "Let this be an example of what's to come if you disagree with the Lord of Rats." And from under the mask, huge, gnarled, malformed fangs, each one maybe 10 inches big, just bites the head off the dog and just throws the body into the crowd. From here, you can hear the crunch.
Well, shit. Hey, buddy, might have something to deal with in the courtyard.
Yeah, I think I've fallen for that trick before.
No, really, sir. It's getting crazy out there.
He stands up and walks over, and that's when, Sonata, you hear the fast pattering of footsteps behind him. You gonna say anything, or are you just gonna, like, let that?
Behind you.
Yeah. You say that, he turns, and one of those shady-looking bastards in the sort of black and grey just jumps at him and starts biting at his throat while stabbing him in the chest. And he had no real chance.
Well, we tried.
He will, that shifty-looking bastard will throw the body down, kind of look at a lot of you.
Oh, no.
And you're like, "So what are all of you in here for, then?"
So we just missed a bunch of that, because you're...
He looks at you, he throws the body down, and says, "What are you in for, then?" This guy before you, you can smell the dirt on him. You can smell just that the hair that's kind of matted on his head has not been cleaned, maybe ever. Similar sort of beard, very sharp, tight features. And he's looking at you with keen eyes.
I got a little too drunk. Punched someone I shouldn't have punched.
Honestly, look at me. I looked at someone wrong.
I make toys.
The guy, like, sheaths his short sword. It's just, like, on a rope belt. Kind of looks at a lot of you and actually picks up the keys from the man. It's like, you want these? You want these? You want to get out?
I mean, yeah.
Then you don't mind.
Okay.
This is fine, honestly. I'm really not that worried about it.
Don't listen to his vote.
I want out. He can stay.
He's got the face I have now of like, this could be fun. You know, why not like mess with him a little bit? And he will like throw the keys. He actually goes to throw them with quite a lot of precision out the window behind you. If you want to make deck saves to try and catch it.
Very much so.
Very much also.
Both of you feel free.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, actually,
like
both of you, like grab it at the same time. Because you're like standing mostly together, right? Just
Yeah.
And the guy is like,
Not much of a choice in the matter.
"Oh shit!"
Yeah. Yeah. So, run along then. Starts unlocking the...
Just so it's clear, we're in charge now, okay? We're in charge of this whole place. So you guys, I don't know what kind of trouble and if you're trying to weave some little crazy tale, but please, we're in charge now, okay? Just run along.
My liege.
Can I... how quickly can I get the gate open?
Oh, like
Okay.
an action.
Because like it is
6 seconds.
so because given this one, I want to immediately grab the crossbow that the guy was messing with and just shoot.
Okay, so you're actually gonna have to get past this guy to do that. So I'm
Oh,
gonna need
is
you
he
to
in
give
the
an
way? Okay.
opposed acrobatics real quick. But
Okay.
I mean, if you think you can do that, and then I'll allow you to use that. Because if you didn't know,
Oh no, it's a 4.
those are homebrew classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things you try to jump for the crossbow, and he just like stomps on your hand. It's like, no, see, you're gonna behave now. You're gonna find purpose. You're pretty. You'll make a brilliant dancer for the Lord of Rats, and you, I mean, maybe we'll have you.
I have jumped behind him at this point, and I have grabbed my equipment here. Just so you know. So if he turns to look at me, I'm not there.
You could actually totally give me a stealth check to see if he even noticed you do that.
All right.
Jill's face would just be like go from like
Because you would see him just behind him. Yeah. Guy is just like threatening Joel and flirting, propositioning Sonata at the same time.
I'd also like to check something else really quickly.
Feel free.
Would he notice if I am grabbing a hair from behind him? Does he have any on the back of his like cloak that have fallen off?
Yes, he does.
Good.
And he doesn't notice. You actually can just pluck from like the back of like where his collar is. There's actually a lot of loose hair there.
Good. Great. That's all I'm going for. I'm not trying to like pull one from his head or anything like that. That would be silly.
He's just... So you see this weird old dude teleport behind him and just start like, oh, putting a little hair in
I've
pockets.
put it, put it in my pocket for now. And I have my stuff now, and I'm just, kind of standing there for the moment.
See, you have the presence of a troublemaker, so I think you'll be better. Actually, maybe you'll be better with us than against us. And he... What's your armor class, Joel?
Oh, it's 15.
He tries to bite you. You notice sharp teeth in his maw, drool, horrible stench. It's one of those things where he tries to bite you, and because you're in this like brawl, you could like literally have to hold his face away.
Yeah.
As he tries to bite you. Just hold still. You'll be with us soon.
No, thank you. And I'm gonna duck and roll away. I don't have a ranged weapon. I'm just gonna roll out of the way.
Go ahead and
back.
click that real quick.
Oh, yep. Just gonna the roll backwards out of that. Just fuck that.
So you actually can't, because you don't have a ranged weapon equipped.
Oh.
You can't use Dark and
Oh,
you
yeah, I
have to
can't.
have
Oh,
a
okay.
ranged weapon equipped.
Well, I gotta get around the side of it.
Is Sonata gonna do anything while this little brawl is going on?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Too much.
I'm gonna try and just move to the side enough to grab the crossbow. then.
Acrobatics or sleight of hand should be the same. For you,
They're exactly the same. So actually, in that case, I'll do sleight of hand so he doesn't know I'm doing it.
yeah, I can get that.
Nope, he knows I'm doing it.
He just keeps like pinning, like just whatever you're doing, trying to get your hands past him, and then
little help.
Aaron, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna quickly that fabric that I was putting together, it was weaved into a small shape of a doll. And after we saw the rat man, I kind of made it into a little bit more of a rat shape. And I've woven in the hair that I just plucked from this man's back. And then I'm going to take out one of my needles and do this.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
You stab the effigy,
Alrighty.
and so as he's brawling with you, Joel, the the guy just like his back wrenches, and you see, because you can see what Valerian's doing behind him.
Yeah.
He just goes, and he's like, and like grabs at his back with one hand.
I'm gonna push him away with that. The second he's like,
You feel free to give me an well, unfortunately that's an athletics check, but I will give you advantage.
hey, don't
I
want to
think I have a
get bit.
pencil around here.
Hey,
There you go.
That's
That's
real good.
reasonable.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. While he's racked in pain, you can push him. Oh. And he tumbles down the stairs. That were right around the corner. You push him, he hits the floor, the wall. Wolverine like can step out of the way, and he just loses his footing. Also, the stones here not very well kept. Some of them are loose, and you just hear a. But
Do we hear any noise from down the stairs?
it's just like a pause.
I know you need to wait to tell me, but
yes, you can hear him getting up.
Okay,
Oh, good.
grabbing my pack and my crossbows. Immediately, 100%, and my daggers.
Aw,
Okay.
I believe I've pricked my finger.
How far down the stairs is he?
It's like a 15-foot stairwell.
Oh, okay. Then I'm just gonna crossbow down at him while he's coming back up.
Yes.
So, not advantage. Almost fluffed that.
I'll have to get a pencil in the break.
Oh,
Both of those hit. Absolutely.
good. Oh, I will take that.
Very interesting. So it's one of those things, you actually see the bolts scratch him, but don't pierce into him like they would any other man. I mean, as Jewel gets 2 hand crossbows out and fires them both into the guy, usually that would be a man down.
Yeah.
But no, they just sort of scratch off him, but he does stagger a little.
Okay, so demon, and he's gonna back into the cell, and get ready and aiming at the door.
Sonata, are you gonna do anything?
Yep, Sonata
Demon.
will pull out this beautiful little pink harp that if you look close at it, you see that it is made of coral. And she's not no words, but if you look at her face, she's very amused, and she'll pluck out a little tune. And Tesh, you now have bardic inspiration.
Yes.
All right. Then the guy is going to charge up the stairs. And as he does, his form breaks and shifts the cracking of bone into that of a giant rat.
Told you, it's a fucking demon.
And Volvarin is the closest person. What's your armor class?
14.
He hits exactly 14. Would you please give me a constitution saving throw?
Oh no.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh no.
His big, rotten teeth plunge into your arm as you're backing up. You're an old dude. You gotta shuffle a little.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel a heat pulse through your veins.
Good.
Almost as if your senses are heightened from it, and it hurts. You also take
no.
4 piercing damage. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, don't love that he did that. He's standing next to me right now, so
Right next to you. Well, yes. I was about to say, do rats stand? Yes.
Well, I mean, this one.
This one does.
This one does. I'm gonna grab at him.
That's very much a hit.
And yeah, grab at him where he's biting me. So I'm trying to grab his neck basically as he's biting into me, and just gonna kind of sin.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't. I'm sure.
No,
But anyways,
that does. My internet was just. I was just Jim facing the YouTube
Yeah.
recording for a second. It does. You hear him squeaking, and there's almost a a guttural man's yell inside the squeaking and yelping of a rat, but it does not stop. It is enough to make it let go of you, because like it's clamped in, like lets go of you and backs up some, smoking, singeing, limping, but not dead. Joel?
Yeah, that's gonna be a crossbow again. Just that thing needs
offhand
to
hits,
die.
which is a very Tesh thing to do.
It is.
It is very. Oh,
Yeah.
I just need to just remember to swap hands.
You do have Bardic Inspiration, an extra D6.
Oh, I do. Okay.
I saw Doxy doing the old "I'm a bard" and someone has inspiration face. Something I have seen many times.
Oh,
Hey,
hell
What?
yeah.
That's a hit.
Yeah,
Good
double
times.
crossbow. It needs to fucking die.
That's actually, it's one of the things with the music strumming through the air. Music you've never heard anything like before. It's
You can
beautiful.
swear you see little seahorses swirling around in the air.
And it sounds
that.
brilliant with the pattering of the rain on the side of the building as well. You aim and fire both crossbow bolts into both eyes of the thing. This time, it stumbles back down the stairs, and Jule and Volvarin peer down the stairs. And like one leg is twitching, but it is not getting back up. You just shoot it again. You just like double tap it.
Just
Yep.
in case I'm
Very
also
much dead.
this as well and just rip apart.
When you do
the-
that, the fur of the giant rat starts setting on fire.
And you'll see the doll I had made just fly into ashes in my hands. As I pull it apart, it just feathers away.
As you take a couple of moments to breathe, you see the form of the rat there slowly cracking and shifting back into the form of a human, now burnt and scarred and shot up to hell. At the bottom of the stairs.
Huh. The fuck was that?
Pitied
Just
him more
looking
when
back
it was
at,
a rat.
No, that was a demon. I mean, what the fuck was that? And he's gonna point at Wolverine. The fuck was that with the doll?
I don't know what you're talking about. He's just tucking his needle away, and he's like wrapping his arm and
Picking up his bag.
yeah, just like, and he's like hunched over. You can tell now that his neck really sinks in, and just yeah.
I want to get that old. I want to get so old that I like a sim. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Right. Well, now what?
I'm leaving.
I mean, yeah, but it looks like these guys are all over the place.
I wouldn't hate sticking close to you two. I'm not much in a fight. Great in conversation, though.
Good music too.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess let's scope out this building at least.
Mhm.
Whoever that was who killed that dog, I want him dead.
I'm gonna immediately look around, see if I can find literally anything useful for our situation.
Well, so do you guys want to do me an investigation check for like the building as a whole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Can I do a perception, or does it have to be investigation?
No, perception also works. It's just you're kind of looking for different things. You know, perception is a quick run through, see what your instincts find. Investigation is, okay, I'm picking things up.
Exactly.
I'm
Which is
going
what
to be doing something else.
Says the weird old man
You know,
witch.
Perhaps expectantly, I'm going to be trying to figure out what the hell that thing was to some extent, but also, so I'm going to look through my book of lore on monsters.
So with that, either a nature or history with advantage.
I believe I'm going to do nature.
Mm-hmm. So first, we'll go
Wait,
over
did you
guys.
say with advantage for
With
either
advantage,
or
with
just
advantage.
with advantage? I thought you meant history with advantage or nature. in general.
No.
So
Both
I'm-
have advantage. You have a big nerd book.
I do.
Filled with
Oh,
all
yeah.
scraps and
Nerd book.
pages. Awesome. First of all, let's go over team searching. Joel starts going down the stairs, checking the corners with Sonata, like, making sure it's safe and then starting to go around. It's a little bit of a little outpost building. Because the buildings in Diland are so built on such old foundations, it's very hard to... Sometimes they have very weird layouts. There's like a little pantry in a little area where probably guards have slept. But as a whole, you don't find a whole lot of... There's no more guards in the building. When it comes to things that are interesting, you actually do find some stuff, Sonata. A little lockbox that is not locked, that seemed to be where the guard slept. You open it up and it has a potion of healing in it. A nice little rounded glass bottle with green liquid inside that immediately your instincts know what they are as people who have traveled any degree of sense. And also a spattering of gold, around 8 gold coins, which is a lot for random guards, you know. Also, there's a good deal of rations and supplies here. The guards are clearly using it as a little bit of a stop post. From the layout, there's pretty much a window that looks out into the street that's clearly been turned into a little bit of a watching area where a guard would sit and just kind of like check the street. No one there now.
All right, I would toss the potion to Vol, and I would pocket the gold.
You know, finders keepers.
Yep. Once Jules sort of confirmed there's nothing else in the building at hostel, he's actually going to go back up to the guard that was killed, take off the keychain and start getting the keys off, pull out a keychain out of his jacket and start adding the keys to his keychain. Oh, camera. And then just sort of go,
it's very rare.
Okay, so anything else in this place?
I lay out the rest of the stuff, like the rations.
Yeah.
I'm like, I suppose we could split these evenly.
It's probably a good idea. Don't know how long this thing's gonna be going on for. They seem to be... Look out the window. At least they want to be here for the long haul.
Another thing you find, Sonata, sorry, didn't mention it, is that around the back of this building, there's actually 2 doors. Door in the front that like goes into the ring around the castle. It goes into a street that's like right next to the ring. Very strong boarded, actually locked, but you're on the inside, you can like unlock it from here. The other one round back into a little bit of an alley that has also doors on either side that appear to be padlocked, but there's an entrance to the drains below the town there. Little cast iron manhole grate in the cobblestones. And you can see
I'd
the
do
water
well down
flowing.
there.
Probably a good idea than walking around up here with them around.
Now, while they're setting out the ration packs and the packs of dried jerkies and dense foods, Volvaran, you're looking through your book of monsters and oddities and cryptids. And very much, based on all the descriptions, this is a were-rat. This is a form of lycanthropy. A form of lycanthropy that you were bitten with.
Mm-hmm.
You are aware that you are filled with what is both a disease and a curse. Yet, slowly transforms the user. These people? I mean, he had a mastery of his powers. It takes a long time for someone with lycanthropy to be able to change on a will. Although it was combat, and it says that sometimes, you know, the animal side will take over. That may have been what happened. Looked like they had a little more skill than that, though, which means trained. And actually, in the section of were-rats, it says that unlike a lot of lycanthropes, they often work together and train each other, usually as thieves and opportunists. And then you kind of look out the window to the scene outside, where now they've closed the main gate of the castle, and these rats are inside the building, inside the castle.
Is that something that Sonata would know?
Give me a nature check.
Sure. It's not going to be pretty.
No, exactly. It's low, but... you've definitely... When he starts mentioning of it, it's like, you've heard of were-rats, you know?
Okay, then I would immediately cast Lesser Restoration on him.
Ooh, go ahead and click that.
Damn.
Because I'd just be muttering were-rat. I wouldn't be, like, talking about it. One condition or disease afflicting it.
Yeah.
That kind of fits the bill, I
If you
think.
can remove the curse, I can remove the disease.
I don't know that I can remove the curse.
You're a witch! Come
Yeah.
on!
do more of the
You know
other
what
side
I'm
of
gonna?
it,
You know what I'm
you
gonna
know?
give you? You feel the adverse effects, that area itching. It was starting to welt and boil.
I thought he was just
No.
pausing for dramatic effect.
You feel.
You feel that area where you were bitten, sort of on your arm, welting and boiling and itching and all of those effects go down. You still have this feeling of dread that you, as a person of Asia, knows you're still cursed.
Yeah.
But you may have just delayed the effects.
Cool.
And probably quite
Okay, well-
significantly.
Yep. I'm going to be watching you at the very least.
So perhaps we ought to get that looked at more thoroughly.
I'm gonna just be like taking a look at it pretty intently. I'm wanting to see, like, in terms of medicine, if there's anything that I would think of herbalistically to do anything
You
about
can
it.
give me a medicine roll.
Okie dokie.
There are herbs that are known to cure lycanthropy. It is a thing that exists, particularly according to books. You've read a lot of books about plants, and especially magical plants. There's rumored to be plants that only bloom under the full moon's light, and things like that. Plants that elves believe are blessed by the moon goddess herself can cure lycanthropy. Usually in a more mountainous climate, but any kind of rocky area. Now, interesting enough, there's actually a very large swamp by Diland, which is the perfect place to look for alchemical reagents and herbalist stuff as well, if you were interested in looking there, although you'd have a much harder time there. But it's one of those things where it's possible, and these are quite sought after and well protected things, so local herbalists might know about them, things like that.
Yep.
If you think of a snazzy name for that, let me know, Will.
I will think on it. I will do that. I won't think of something right now, I can tell you that.
No. Because it's one of those
So-
things that you don't even necessarily know the
Yeah.
name, you just know it's a thing that exists.
Mhm.
Because, interestingly enough, the moon goddess is often has a lot of connections to people who change under the moon's effect.
We got to get him to a holy man.
That's not necessary. There are ways to deal with it.
You're bitten by a demon and you say it's cursed you. We need to get you to a holy man.
That wasn't a demon. Weren't you listening? It's a were-rat. Different. Look, and I'm going to show
just
him
another
in
name.
the book.
There's a very intricate diagram of like one of these things being dissected, and it's like still half man, half rat. It's gross.
Yeah.
Well, the name for demon.
You're an idiot.
I could guide us though if we were to make our way below that grate. I'll take care of you.
Well, down we go.
So it's one of those things, because you're not in any sort of rush. You guys can just... The men can lift the... Joel can lift the grate aside, and... What's your strength
Not that
score?
weak.
You're not gonna want Sonata's help.
That I knew. And you can hop down into
Well,
the sewer structure under the city, under the town. Like the rest of the town, sewers are very old. In some places, that means they've started to collapse and fall apart because the town is not very supported by the like infrastructure anymore. Doesn't need to be. Doesn't make anything of worth. People aren't anything of worth. The only thing of value is a castle that they mothballed for a long time. And a swamp, which has its own values, of course. So the sewers are like at some parts caverns, some parts... Right now, most parts rushing water, as water is rushing in the sewers slope naturally towards, the groundwaters and the sumps and the reservoirs and things. It's actually not that bad down here. It's the unpleasant smell you'd expect of a sewer, but at least it's not a big city. It's a much worse. I imagine all of you have been in a big city sewer as well, which is funny.
No matter what, it's well lit because dancing lights.
Hey.
As you like drop down there, because there's not like a ladder or anything, it's just a drop, not enough to hurt you. You like little sparks of light reflecting the water as it runs down the central channel. It's kind of old and broken enough that it splits and forks. It's actually quite pretty.
They look like bubbles.
I like that.
That's
I like
a
that a
very important
lot.
touch that I like a lot.
This is like still a sort of area of Goldport in the sense that I wouldn't be used to magic at all, would I?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still very much the kingdom of Goldport.
Yeah, I was
Magic is
gonna, after
all-
we get down and see that, I'm just and now I'm watching you as well. Back to going through the sewer, figuring out a
So-
place to come up.
Quite
Exact-
used to being watched. Shall we?
Where are you trying to go? You can give me rough things, 'cause of course I'm not going to give you an entire map of a town.
Out to the sea, to somewhere coastal.
Oh, that's going to take months and not
Yeah, no, that's
be
not-
possible through this
It's the long.
system.
It's the long. It's the long goal. It's
Do
the
I-
long-term goal.
If you want to just go
Long.
as far away as possible, then hop out and then start going towards the coast, that's absolutely okay.
We need to kill that
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. I was gonna say if you start heading, and they can tell you're heading away from like out of the town, you two would notice and say,
Yeah. No, we're supposed to be going that way. So what would I know anywhere in the town that would be a good place to pop up that is either defendable or a good place to sort of stock up?
Have you
Per
been to
se,
this
like-
town often?
I would imagine. I would honestly say probably relatively new.
Then give me a
imagine-
history check without advantage.
Yep.
You know. So you actually give advantage because he would give you advice.
Oh, okay, cool.
I live here.
Oh,
So interesting things of note. You're saying, hey, we want a holy man. There's a church in the castle, as is expected in a place like this. Also, there's a quite large brothel that's got a slight secret reputation for hiding people on the run. Other than that, probably Volvarin would say, well, I live here. Like out in the swamp a little bit, I imagine.
It is
Which-
very much out in the swamp, and I wouldn't initially say that. I wouldn't initially.
Okay.
Jules' mind would be on getting to a holy man, so he'd probably say the church.
There are other churches in town.
in the castle.
It's just that church is blessed by Pyth to the degree that you know there's people of actual ability there. Now, unfortunately, that's in the castle that those rats just took over.
Oh, okay. Well, we might be able to sneak in to the castle, maybe. That's his plan, at least. Is there any sewer entrance to the castle that we could use?
Well, you did get a 20. Yes. It would. Well,
Yes.
sewer entrance, no. Well, you're in the it's connected. You know how it's all old caverns and tunnels and things. There's always an emergency exit out of that castle, and you've gone to this town. You started asking around and things. You've heard of people who have escaped this castle in imprisonment before. There is a way in through the tunnels underneath, but it's one of those things where you've also heard rumors that sewers like this, creatures are in. When you've been wandering around here, my internet is sucking its own dick,
Just
and not in a
gone.
good way. Not in a good way. Not in a good way. So roll initiative. No. I'm just fucking with you. Oh my
At Dick,
God.
not in a good way.
It's so bad.
And-
It's falling apart.
Your dick? Happy birthday to you.
I plead the fifth. What I was saying is that the tunnel to the underside of the castle, one, is going to come up in the slight catacombs under the church, used for storage, and linked directly to the church.
You cut out again.
I would
What?
assume that was catacombs.
catacombs under the church.
Okay.
Directly
Good.
under the church,
That is
not the rest of the
perfect.
castle. You've also heard rumors of nasties. You've been walking around these sewers and you've already seen kobolds running around, you know? And they're like things that live in verminous areas, giant beetles, spider webs that are just a little too big. There's definitely nasties between here and there.
I
But-
would explain that then.
Directly under a church that has been known, like, that literally injured soldiers are sent there and, like, healed.
Sorry, just read chat.
Don't do that. That'll trip you up.
That'll.
I will explain all that and just say it's our best bet.
Sure.
Sewer.
Okay. Holy god damn it. Okay. So do I have to do any sort of check for leading them
No,
there?
you got a 20. You can absolutely start leading them there. Why don't
Yeah.
we take a little break?
Perfect.
And then, are you party parrot right now? He's party parrot right now.
You're adorable right now. It's like,
Will's a cutie, and that's why I keep him around. I only keep cute people around. That's why I'm here with all of you. Aside from one of you.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. I'll be back in a minute.